Hey everybody, it's Marlon. Welcome to the channel, Marlon's 420. Hope y'all are having a great week so far and planning for Christmas here tomorrow. I'm filming this on Tuesday, the 24th of December. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Let's jump in real quick. Last week on Wednesday, we did Weed and Warhammer Wednesday for the first time. If y'all haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. I don't think many people have. If it's not very popular, we'll drop it and just do Warhammer. So we'll see. Anyways, this week we're focusing on a topic I have not discussed yet, and it is to deal with the Emperor, Big E, the man himself, as many refer to it, and also his psychic throne, or known as the Golden Throne, right? So when I first started to learn about the Golden Throne and how it actually operated, what it could do, and how the Emperor is kept alive in Warhammer 40K, it was I started to get the term grim dark. You know what I mean? It's fucking messed up. So the first time that we really see the Golden Throne in a big way, and the Big E and the Emperor in the Heresy series, is when Magnus breaks in through the Webway and destroys all the wards that the Emperor has built, right? And that's the first time we see it. Then the next time where we get a really good look at how it's actually going to work and what it can do is when the Emperor needs to leave the throne and go and help the Custodes and the Sisters of Silence in the Webway, right? They're losing the war in the Webway badly. The custodians are bloodied to the point where they've been reduced from 10,000 down to, I don't know, maybe a few thousand at this point, if that. They've been hurt badly. And the only way the Emperor can buy enough time for Vulcan to try and get there and for his plans to coalesce is for him to go into the Webway. And for him to do that, he needs to be able to leave the Golden Throne. And the Sisters of Silence, the hypocritical bitches that they are, provide that avenue for him to leave. And how do they do that? Now, for all of y'all who know this, I apologize. I'm just going to go through it real quickly and then get to my point. But I do want to explain to those who may not have heard it first. The Sisters of Silence, one of their main things is they go around the Imperium, all throughout the planets, everywhere, and they hunt psychers. Whether latent, powerful, doesn't matter. They hate psychers. They hunt them. They bring them back to the Imperium, usually Earth or Terra as it's called, and then they are put to work or use in whatever way that is best deemed for that particular psyker to be of use. Now in this case, they had rounded up 1,000 psychers. They told them, you will be serving the Emperor. And well, they fucking did in a way. So they get all these people, and this is really fucked up. I guess I shouldn't be laughing, but the way it was done is just, they get all 1,000 people, they hook them up to the Golden Throne, and then they proceed to suck their life force and souls and everything else that you can think of about a human being out of those psychers in an excruciatingly painful and impossible to understand way. And that organic battery basically is what they become. But instead of like in the Matrix where the AI machines are using humans as battery sources, in this case they're battery sources of psychic power for the Golden Throne and for the Emperor. Now, even the Sister of Silence, we see this from one of their viewpoints, is disturbed by this. Very disturbed. And she's also wondering at some point, okay, we did this today, but for the emperor to get off the throne and go into the Webway just for that short amount of time that he did cost them 1,000 psychers, and they burned out quick. So she's sitting there and she's wondering, okay, we did this, there are 1,000 of them, we burned them down, they're gone. All their psychic might has powered the throne and the Astronomicon so that the emperor could go into the Webway and kick demon ass and almost get killed by a version of death in the Webway. I mean, that was just, she can't wrap her mind around it, so to speak. At some point, she just says, fuck it, I'm not going to think about this anymore. And that moment comes when, from her point of view and in her mind, she realizes that the 1,000 psychers are only 1/10 of what the throne and system are set up to take. Meaning that the throne is set up to take 10,000 psychers, human beings, at one time, feed their souls into it to power the throne and the emperor's psychic might, which is already a blazing, massive sun of nuclear psychic power in and of itself that would destroy everyone, everything, if he didn't keep it constantly under control. And when she realizes that those slots have 10,000 places, she's just like, no. So a lot of people have talked about how the Big E, the emperor, has been being fed like this ever since his near-death experience, whatever you want to call it, with Horus. And they have had to keep him alive this way, in a lot of people's opinions, for basically this whole time. Now, when I first started thinking about this, a lot of people did math on it and did ask, well, how many people would that be? And all the numbers that I ever saw were based on that 1/10 of the system being used. But I don't think that's correct, because why would the point of view and the author go out of their way to tell us, no, there are 10,000 open battery slots for humans, psycher humans, to be slipped into? So I believe that it is likely and very possible that this has been going on at that level, 5, 10, I think probably 10,000 a day, every day, day in, day out, to keep the Astronomicon going, to take some of the pressure off of the emperor, and to whatever else needs to be done, including keeping the Webway sealed. There's also people that think that all of this, plus the worship of trillions of human beings, has elevated his psychic might far past what it was when he went on to the Golden Throne. And the more I think about it and the more I read about it, I tend to agree with that. But I wanted to do just a little quick math to show y'all how heinous, how evilly fucked up and ridiculous this man, if you can call him that, and this system are. And so I told y'all I don't use scripts very often, but I did write down a little bit of this. So if you take 10,000 psychers a day, which people say is extreme, but I don't think it is, especially when they told us that's how many slots are available. 10,000 psychers a day, every day, that's 365 days a year, for 10,000 years. I mean, the number that comes out to is absolutely astronomical. In a 10,000 year period, you'd be talking about, and yes, I did this twice to make sure I had enough commas and zeros, 36 billion, 500 million human psychers in this time period, the last 10,000 years. Now, some people will say, Marlon, no fucking way. That is not possible. There's not enough human beings for that. That's not true. Not in this setting. We are told that there are trillions of human beings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the difference between a billion and a trillion is incomprehensible, is as incomprehensible as the number billion itself. So take a billion seconds and you get 31 years. Take a trillion seconds and you get 31,000 years. That's the difference between a billion and a trillion. And they tell us there are many trillions of humans out in the Imperium. So even with psychers being as rare as they are, it would not be far-fetched at all for them to be able to find those kinds of numbers over a 10,000 year period. It just wouldn't. But the atrocity level is so hard to comprehend that people just reject the idea outright. And I think that's probably one reason why the books haven't actually gone into it itself, because it's so ridiculous. So many human beings, so destructive, and so much psychic power being fed to this God that it's hard to wrap your mind around and comprehend, right? So anyways, but I do believe they'd be able to find them. I do believe that that's probably very nearly the accurate number. Also, it'd be the most grimdark, fucked up number you could have, which is also why the Black Library would probably lean towards that number. It is absolutely disgusting. And that also led me to question the Big E, the Emperor, the Master of Mankind, is the good guy, right? I mean, that's the premise of all of this. And I think Luton09, who I listen to a lot, is part of the Sleep Gang. He's been going down this path for a while now. The Emperor is probably the better out of the two options between him and Chaos, but they both have extremely evil sides to them. And the Emperor, I don't think, is like an actively evil, actively malicious, whereas Chaos is. But that's almost worse, right? The coldness and the unfeelingness and just the logic and the I go here. That's almost worse than just the chaos and the wanting of death and destruction on mass proportions, just for the lulls. But yeah, so what do you think about that number, 36.5 billion over 10,000 years? And that is the number that I personally like to think is the accurate one or close to accurate. Anyways, if y'all hadn't hit that subscribe button yet, do so please at the end of the video. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to think of, what you'd like to talk about. And if you disagree with my number, agree with my number, think it could be somewhere in between, it really could be many different things. We don't know for sure. I just think that's the most logical explanation. So let me know what you think. Hit that like button. I'm Marlon, y'all. We'll be back with y'all real soon. Y'all have a very Merry Christmas. Cheers.